Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Hit like and subscribe. Today, continuing on, going through like randomly generating various NPCs and other background institutions to create a beginning level adventure for Heroes Unlimited. In the last episode of this, we just rolled out what the main villain of the week for the very first adventure is going to be, who is an alien whose world was destroyed, and he's the last of his race, and he's come to Earth to save the day. Now, I've gotten a couple of players lined up with characters now, and because of, after seeing what kind of stories kind of need to be told about their heroes, one of whom is a street urchin from Detroit who has a magic item to imbue her with magical powers and the ability to cast spells. And the other is another alien who's kind of like made of like a glass-like substance and has discovered upon coming to Earth that he's got gem powers and other abilities like the ability to fly and have, enhanced hearing. And so running with that, you need more than just the sub-mechanic as a villain. His powers are he can merge and mentally bond with machines and that kind of stuff, but he's not like he's throwing heat rays. He's more of a thinking villain. He thinks he's doing good. Arguably, he is doing good. I like the clash of good guy versus good guy kind of stuff. Where you can get to like the fine nuances of like what is justified in order to be able to accomplish a goal, kind of a theme. So anyway, it felt though he needs some sort of earthly organization to be attached to help provide, some more, villainous kind of henchman characters. So did some random rolling to determine like what his main human partner is on Earth, and rolled a detective from the special training subsection of Heroes Unlimited. So thought it'd be funny to kind of mix a little bit of Doctor Who, Watchmen, and Sherlock Holmes together. And so the detective's going to be a person named Dr. Detective. They're like the current iteration of Dr. Detective. There's been Dr. Detectives going all the way back to the 30s. And currently they're on the hunt. After meeting with the alien guy, they've been convinced that, Earth is at threat, and they got to, harass various aliens that are known to live on Earth, and also they've been harassing magic users because I've decided that the thing that destroyed the alien dude's home planet was the use of magic, and he's afraid that if Earth were to embrace magical powers, it might draw this anti-magic nebula to their world too and boil away its oceans and all the kind of stuff that happened to his home world. And so he's convinced Dr. Detective and Dr. Detective's Junior Detective League, which is basically just a bunch of wannabe cops and security guards, to help him root out any evidence of magic that might be drawing this nebula to Earth. Kind of a little sense of a ticking time bomb, except, set it off for a couple of years. If we don't do the thing, this cloud's going to come and destroy Earth like my home world. Kind of a vibe. Whether or not they actually end up doing anything with that down the line, so other questions, just something to kind of just set up and leave in the background, see how the players interact with it, whether and how much they buy into the idea of it, or whether they just kind of shrug it off and like, it's not my problem, not my fault. So, needed to design like a little criminal network, so I did use the agency creation rules out of Ninjas and Super Spies to come up with a basic little crime buster agency to describe Dr. Detective's Junior Detective Squad, and giving him a couple other NPCs. I wanted there to be like a science experiment henchman who like does like the wet work that Dr. Detective themselves might want to keep their hands clean of. So rolled randomly on the experiment tables, got superpowers and a slight mutation that, they now feed off of energy and can redirect and be immune to like energy blasts and stuff. And rolled up the copy physical object power, which, they can like touch brick and their skin becomes like brick. They can touch metal, their skin becomes like metal, that kind of a thing. So that's going to be their enforcer. I'm going to call that one Subject 7. And also going to have as like one other additional named NPC in this little group, a weapons expert hardware character that I'm going to call Scope, who's been retro engineering some of the weapons and other technology that's on the submechanic spaceship. I also have using the Starship creation rules and the Galaxy Guide. Have done something I haven't done in a while and actually designed a proper vehicle, in this case a stealth Star Destroyer kind of a thing, using the rules in this. Not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of math and a lot of going back and forth to readjust things to keep things under the budget, because these rules, you know, are designed where you have however million credits to spend, and then you're actually having to figure out the tonnage and how much various things suck up space within the overall tonnage of the ship, and also the cost per tonnage for all sorts of things. And you know, don't want to suck up too much of your budget early on, because then there's all sorts of features you're also going to want to plug in, like the ability for the people on your ship to breathe and that sort of stuff. Artificial gravity, what kind of engines does it have? Does it have the ability to deal with like the jump gates or the gravity wells that you can use to kind of speed things up and jump over huge chunks of space at once, and all that kind of stuff. So, but have finished that out, and I guess the subject for the next video is probably going to be seeing maybe some like potential NPCs that the characters might go to for help. I'm thinking I'm going to start off the adventure as kind of like a hard cut, cold open, where the characters are already being pursued by the junior detective squad, and just kind of let things go from there. I mean, it's even possible that the player characters might decide that they actually agree with the goals of the sub-mechanic and Dr. Detective and like join their efforts. And by having Dr. Detective have a spaceship that it plants an ability to get the characters off Earth. In terms of the tone so far of what kind of comic book setting this is kind of shaping out to be in my head, it's like let's say, you know, a subdued comic book universe. Stuff is, you know, there, and people are aware of the existence of aliens and people with superpowers, but it's maybe not quite as flashy and apocalyptic as it is in like the Marvel or the DC universe. More, you know, like classic sci-fi pulp kind of stuff. So maybe more of a callback to like the stuff from the 30s and the post-atomic age kind of comic book inspiration. I do want there to have been like an attempted alien invasion by the Torian Empire back in like the 1950s or so, to kind of go hand in hand with those kind of black and white flying saucers, giant mutant insects kind of sci-fi. And I don't know, it's shaping up interesting. In terms of bad guys, to have, you know, the characters being persecuted by people who are persecuting them for their own good, kind of an angle might be something interesting to play with, just to I don't know, see how people decide to react and play along with things. As I say, it's also just the random nature of using the tables to generate like who these people are. Can also, you know, yeah, lead you into some interesting corners of like, how is an alien survivor who's going to be my villain team up with a detective agency to be bad guys that can, you know, be a threat to player characters. Just part of the fun of Heroes Unlimited. So, I don't know, like, let me know what some sort of weird randomness you've come up with on your own using Palladium Books in the comments below. Hit like and subscribe. Check me out on DriveThruRPG, or you can check me out on Twitter at PartySkills, and have a good one. Get out of here.